When someone says I miss you and you don't miss them, what do you reply? Don't waste your time on me. You're already a voice inside my head. Inside my head. When that song came out, a friend of mine called it the Yed song whenever it was mentioned. My son was in elementary school when that song was popular, and he asked me what a Yed was. And oh, I'm so sorry. Where are YOUHM? The Verizon subscriber you are trying to reach is not available. I might just use this even though I have Sprint. I'm sorry. An ex said this to me a while back. I replied with yes, we've had a lot of good times together etc, so I didn't ignore the reaching out. But I didn't say I missed them back. When my ex said I miss you, I panicked and just said thanks. I messed up more than you, mate. This guy I was dating said I love you once whilst we were in bed and I said thanks and then proceeded to have some sort of an out of body experience. If you're not ready, you're not ready. I hate how we stigmatize the 3 best words we can hear all because someone said it's a little too early. Take it at your own pace. Don't feel bad that you don't feel the same, and just turn around and say something like, look, I'm not ready to say that back to you just yet. I'm sorry, I just need a little more time. Hopefully they're not weird a jack out about it. That being said, there are boundaries. I once dated a girl who said I love you in the first freaking week. The next day she wanted a kid. Describing this in words is way funnier than if someone tried to film it in a movie or sitcom. Yeah, it's crazy to think it's been such a long time. What are you up to these days? I hope you're doing well. Finger guns. Z00P. Oh, that poor lad lost his sunglasses. Thanks for retrieving. Kind stranger. We'll see each other soon enough. In hell. TF2 theme plays. I just said. In Demo's voice really loud and my bird freaked the frick out. Archimedes? No, it's Filthians here. All of these answers have just led me to the conclusion that I am no longer missed by very important people in my life. There's a Latin dicton proverb that says, far from sight, out of mind. In French we say far from the eyes, far from the heart. I think it also translates to long absent, soon forgotten in English. When you don't see people often, you end up not missing them as much as you once did. If your affection was sincere, I believe it can be reconnected, but it doesn't mean you remember you missed them. Sometimes it's awkward and you just need to try. If your relationship was sincere, they might be happy to try to reconnect. We also have out of sight, out of mind, but its general use and connotations don't quite line up with this situation. I know. See you on a desert planet. Well, not really, because carbonite poisoning. Username checks out. You must have bad aim. New phone, who dis? Same phone, who dis? Dis phone, who knew? Just say I miss YouTube very fast. I miss you too. Me too, because I miss me too. This one's great. Reminds me of that Pirates of the Caribbean movie where Angelica told Jack she loved him and he replied, as do I. Always have, always will. The first time I watched it, I thought he was reciprocating her love, but it was only when I rewatched it when I realized that it was himself that he loved. Which one is this? Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. The only one I didn't watch, lol. You're not alone on that island, my friend. If it's an ex, I don't miss you. Best to be blunt. Family member. Miss you too. They're family. As long as you don't hate them, then it doesn't cost you anything to be nice. What if you miss the ex? Don't. Real talk. They're an ex for a reason. You only miss the positives about that person. Don't forget about the negatives. Not everyone has messy breakups though. Sometimes you just realize that it isn't going to work for whatever reasons. Could be as simple as schedules. You may not have enough time for him, her. Or maybe they moved for a career opportunity. Or maybe you were going through some serious issues in life and just weren't in a good place to be dating. Not every relationship ends because some cheated or someone was a horrible person. Life may just make you two drift apart, so you can still absolutely miss an ex. This long relationship of mine recently ended, and although I know it's a good thing for both of us, it hurts like a bitch and I can't help but miss what we had and wish it could have worked. Depends on the person. If it's family or something, I say I miss you too, because it takes nothing to make their day a little better. If it's your ex or something, then just reply with LOL and leave. Pretty much. I also don't tend to miss people. I have to pretend I do so I don't seem crazy. I don't think I miss people as much as I remember why I like them when I'm in their presence again. Sometimes I'll go weeks without seeing my best friend, and when I see him again I'm like, oh no wonder we're friends. I didn't see my best friend for like 5 years after we moved away and stopped playing. Wow. Together. Ran into him in the supermarket and instantly best friends again. The real best friends pick up like you saw each other yesterday and will drop anything to help with a real problem. So true, man. My best friend and I talk very sporadically, and even then only for a couple minutes. But when we see each other, usually once every other year or so, it's like we still live together and the relationship picks up with the same love and positivity we left it with. Never need to ask what's new. That'll come up at some point. If he calls me, I'll pick up cause it's either important or he misses me. Which is important? I feel like the exact opposite. Oh hey, how have you been? My life has been nothing but darkness and despair since we last spoke. Coolio. It has been a while. This is probably the best serious one. You are kind to say so. It definitely is. It's subtle enough where the other person may not realize you're sidestepping, and you don't have to lie either. Definitely gonna be using this one if someone actually ever misses me and tells me I guide others to a treasure I cannot possess. It is your birthday. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Han Solo that bitch with I know. And this is why baby boomers call us a bunch of millennial falcons. This is how my husband replied the first time I told him I loved him. Lucky for him, I'm a Star Wars fan. I was confused by my wife telling me that she missed me daily. Yet I live with her and I kissed her goodbye at 7 AM and she was saying this at 11 AM. It's been 4 hours. What the frick, woman? Then I realized that I miss you means something different to her. She thinks that if she is thinking of someone then that's missing them. I learned to just acknowledge that she cares about me and that I'm on her mind. I usually reply with something like I love you the most, or I'll be home before you can blink. Have you got any ideas for tonight? On the other hand, if it's simply an old acquaintance or friend, they are giving you an opening to improve on your relationship with them. If you like them, take the opportunity to invite them out. If you don't like them, you can always say, yeah, you've been a stranger for a while. Where have you been? You don't have to be rude, but you can blow them off politely without making plans to see them by asking what has been keeping them busy. I never get that. I get coworkers asking, did you miss me? I wasn't aiming at you. I miss you at every opportunity. Yeet. Right back at ya. You forgot the finger guns. Backhand index finger pointing left. Backhand index finger pointing left. Zoop. Depends on why you keep them in your life. If they're a friend, co-worker, distant family member, or someone that you care a bit about, but don't miss them simply because you're fine with the few times you do see them or just chatting with them occasionally on the phone, Discord, Facebook, then just say you miss them back. Most of the time these people who miss you genuinely mean it, and if you say it has been a while or me too or anything other than telling them that you miss them too, then you're being kind of a dong for no reason. Now if it's someone who lives pretty close and you know saying you miss them back means you'll have to put up with them, then maybe they belong in the next category. If there's someone you don't really like that much and you don't miss them because you quite enjoy not being around them, then why do you even have them on your friends list, in your contacts? I knew a guy who claimed he was on the spectrum and blames everything he does on it. But he was such a freaking drag to be around and I constantly felt like I was babysitting a toddler. I never got any joy hanging out with him. It sucked. He'd text me that he missed hanging out with me and finally I just said frick it. Texted him back and told him how I felt and said he shouldn't text me anymore. If it's someone who is in the second category, someone you really don't like or get along with, but they have no way of realistically visiting you or being more in your life and they're close to someone you do care about, i.e. a shitty brother or your spouse's family, Then just say I miss you too. Lie out your ass and pretend you care. Then why do you even have them on your friends list, in your contacts, to know when the fricker is calling? I miss David Bowie. Or, hope all is well. Truth is, if I don't miss them even when they just said they miss me, like you forget you miss someone, but when you think of them or when you're reminded somehow you realize you do miss them, I probs don't really feel the want to know about their life necessarily, so I ended there, instead of continuing the convo or asking how they are. Or, an expression of endearment. Or, shock and bewilderment. Shock and bewilderment. The feeling one has when a woman who set fire to your favorite shirts tells you that she misses you. Duly noted. I miss you too. Because sometimes you need to make it about someone else. Congratulations. You've been enrolled in Blink 182 factoids and lyrical clarification. Did you know in the hit song I Miss You, the line "and we'll have Halloween on Christmas" does not actually refer to the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas? It's actually a cry for help from the lyricist Travis Barker. He suffered a massive drug addiction and left the family's jack-o'-lantern out for 2 whole months. Whoa.